right, you know what time it is. Live from the Bare Muscle Garage, it's time for Fit Crew. What do we got in store for you today? Let's go ahead and share this on screen. So, today we've got a 5-round workout. And if some of these moves look familiar, then yes, this is an echo of a workout that we did 3 weeks ago. But this week, we are doing this 5 rounds straight through of 15 calories on the bike, 100-foot carry, 10 kettlebell snatches, and then a 25-foot one-arm kettlebell overhead walking lunge. And we may be looking at this thinking, man, this is a lot of different moves. I don't have the space. I don't have the equipment. Don't worry, guys. As always, we're going to warm up really well. And we're going to go through all the options that will allow you to do this workout or your version of it. Right where you are, using what you have and doing what you can. Well, let's go ahead and start this general warm-up, which is going to activate the muscles that we're going to be using in today's workout. So the first thing we're going to do is some bird dogs. And you already know, let's go ahead and have Miss Bird Dog herself demonstrate 2 reps for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the bird dogs are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 bird dogs together. Now, it could be that doing this is a bit hard on the hands and knees, in which case we may choose to do the dead bug. Let's have bird dog demonstrate a couple of dead bugs for us. We're going to be laying on the back, got the arms in the air, legs in the air, and we're going to lower opposite arm, opposite leg, while keeping the other arm and leg stationary. But if we're doing the bird dog as prescribed, we're going to be on hands and knees, and we're going to raise opposite arm, opposite leg, and hold the top there for about 2 seconds before switching sides. So good job on these bird dogs or dead bugs, whichever we choose to do. Next, we are going to warm up those calves. Let's go ahead and have twin one demonstrate 2 reps of the calf stretch on each side. And if we are doing this from the seated position, we're actually going to warm up those elbows with some dynamic elbows like this. So let's everyone join in here and let's do 10 reps of the dynamic calf stretch on each side. Now, it could be that doing this off the ground is a bit hard on those wrists, in which case we may choose to do this off of an inclined surface. Let's have twin one demonstrate here. It could be off a counter, it could be off a sofa, or it even could be off the wall. But we're going to be in an inclined pike position, bending the one knee, pushing the back heel into the ground. But if we're doing this off the ground as prescribed, we are piking the hips up in the air, bending the one knee, pushing the back heel into the ground, holding that for about 2 seconds before switching sides. So good job here on the dynamic calf, whichever version of this is better for us. Next, we're going to do some lunges. Let's go ahead and have bird dog demonstrate 2 lunges for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the lunges are going to look like this. So let's everyone join in here and let's do 10 lunges together. Now, it could be that getting that knee all the way to the ground is a bit of a challenge, in which case we have some options here. We could perhaps do some step-ups like we see Deb doing here. You get a nice sturdy surface like a step riser or a step ladder or a footstool, and then we're going to get both feet up, then both feet down. Or we could perhaps do some assisted lunges. Let's have bird dog demonstrate here. We can hold on to a sturdy close by object such as a sturdy piece of furniture or a pole or whatever we have close by. But if we're doing the lunge as prescribed, we're taking a nice big step forward, slightly to the side for stability until that trailing knee touches the ground. We're looking for the full range of motion. If we're not able to get that knee to the ground, then please let's use assistance or modify as needed. So good job on these lunges. Next, we're going to grab a nice light kettlebell if we have one, 10 pounds or less, 5 kilos or less. If we don't have a kettlebell, then any other common household object will do, preferably something with a handle today, such as an empty laundry detergent jug or a water jug or an orange juice jug or an empty purse. In the absence of that, it could be a light dumbbell, a shoe, a pillow, a teddy bear, whatever the case. So with this light object in hand, we're going to do some suitcase deadlifts. And let's go ahead and have Bird Dog demonstrate 2 suitcase deadlifts for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the suitcase deadlift is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 suitcase deadlifts, 5 on each side. So, as the name implies, the suitcase deadlift is going to initiate with that object on the ground outside the feet where a suitcase would be. And we are going to have those feet close together underneath the hips. The chest is up, shoulders back, and we're looking straight ahead as we take a deep breath in and brace that core, pressing out on our belly as we drive the ground away, getting to a fully standing, locked out position with those shoulders back at the top. And we are bracing that core on the way back down as well. So good job here on these suitcase deadlifts. And finally, here in the activation phase, we've got some strict press. Let's go ahead and have Twin 1 demonstrate 2 reps of the strict press for us. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then the strict press is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 reps of the strict press together, 5 on each side. So on the strict press, we are holding this object from underneath and we're holding it at the front part of the shoulder, the upper part of the chest with the elbow pointing forward. And we are pressing that object up and back, getting the bicep into the ear at the top of the motion. And then we are keeping that elbow pointing forward on the way back down as well. So good job here on the strict press. Well, that is it for the activation phase. Now we're going to move on to the movement prep, which is where we're going to practice specifically the 4 moves that we are doing in today's workout. The first move is the bike. So if you happen to have some type of exercise bike, preferably an air bike, such as an assault bike or a Rogue Echo bike, you can hop on that. And we're going to do about 1 minute to get the blood flowing and make sure everything's set the way that we want to. If you have an alternate cardio machine, such as a rowing machine, that will be acceptable for today as well. But most of us don't have these machines. We're the machines. We're going to do an at-home modification for the bike that involves a combination of mountain climbers and plank shoulder taps. It's Twin 1's favorite move in the world. Let's go ahead and have her show us 2 calories on the bodyweight bike. That was 1. That was 2. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then each calorie on the bike is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 5 calories on our body weight bike. Now, it could be that doing these mountain climbers and plank shoulder taps off the ground is a bit of a challenge, in which case we may choose to do this off of an incline, just like we see Deb doing here. We could be on a counter or a sofa or whatever the case, but we're going to get those knees to those elbows, followed by a plank shoulder tap on each side. But if we're doing this off the ground as prescribed, then we're in a nice low plank position and we are jumping those feet forward if possible, stepping if needed, shifting the weight, tapping the opposite side. So good job on these mountain climber plank shoulder taps or whatever version that we choose to do. The second move that we are doing in today's workout is the 100-foot carry. And to demonstrate a 50-foot carry, let's go ahead and have Bird Dog demonstrate. So preferably if we have a 25-foot span of space, we're going to be walking down. And then at that 25-foot mark, we can either choose to switch arms, or in the workout, we may decide to do a full 50 feet on one arm and then switch, going back and forth like this. Now, if we are doing this from the seated position, then the carry is actually going to be 50 steps. And each step is going to be over, back. That's 1, over, back. That's 2, so on and so forth. We'll do 25 steps with one arm and then switch, do 25 steps with the other arm. So let's all join in here and let's do a 50-step carry. If we don't have 25 feet measured out, then we can go down and back a number of times for the 100 feet. Then we could just count our steps, and a 50-step carry is going to equal the 100-foot carry for today's purposes. So once again, just to be very clear, preferably we do have a 25-foot span of space that we can have measured out. And that's going to be 2 round trips or 4 lengths of the 25 feet. That's going to equal 100 feet. But in the absence of that, then we're counting those steps. It's going to be a total of 50 steps that we'll say is the equivalent of the 100-foot carry for today's purposes. So good job on this carry, whichever version that we choose to do. The third move that we're doing in today's workout is the kettlebell snatch. Now, with a kettlebell, it's understood that it's actually a hang power snatch. We are not going to be tapping the ground and we're not going into a full squat. And it really helps to initiate by throwing that object back between the legs while keeping the chest and shoulders up. Let's have twin 1 show us how it's done with 3 practice reps. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then that kettlebell snatch is going to look like this. So let's everyone join in and let's do 10 kettlebell snatches together, 5 on each side. Now, one tip that really helps is the positioning of the hand. Now, depending on which hand we're holding it with, you can't go wrong with just holding it in the middle, but it's even slightly better to hold the opposite corner. So holding the left side with your right hand and then holding the right side with your left hand. And that really helps with the flip timing, which is the other challenge that a lot of people have with the kettlebell snatch. A lot of people are afraid of that kettlebell, like, oh, it's going to come crashing down. I don't want it to hurt me. I'm afraid. The kettlebell can smell your fear. We need to show that kettlebell who's boss. We need to flip and punch through the flip. If we punch with confidence, that thing will have nothing on us. we will show that kettlebell who's boss. So good job here on the kettlebell snatch. And then the fourth and final move that we are doing in today's workout is the kettlebell overhead lunge. We're actually going to practice the overhead lunge motion without weight right now. Right now, we are just going to use our fist. And let's go ahead and have twin one show us 4 practice reps of the overhead lunge. And if we are doing this from the seated position, then we're actually going to have 2 weights here. We're going to have the one weight overhead, and the other one we are going to curl for the lunge like this, and that's going to be 10 total lunges, 5 on each side. So let's all join in here and let's do 10 overhead lunges, 5 with each arm. Now, if we don't have the space to walking lunge, then we can certainly lunge in place like we see Bird Dog doing here, taking a big step forward and then pushing off that heel until we get back to the same position at the top. Similarly, if we need to do some assisted lunges, we can do that as well. Let's have Bird Dog demonstrate here. We can hold on to a close by object, optionally with the fist in the air. We would not be adding any weight to this if we are doing an assisted version of this lunge. And if we were doing step-ups in the warm-up, then we can continue to do step-ups here as well, optionally with that fist in the air. But the one thing that we're looking for, no matter what, like we see with twin one, is a strong overhead position. If we're thinking about adding weight to this overhead lunge, we need to make sure that arm stays straight and locked out. There's no bend in the elbow whatsoever. And we need to make sure that we're getting the full range of motion knee to the ground. If we're working on any aspect of that lunge, then let's modify without weight. So good job here on the lunge. Well, now it's ramp up time. If you've been earning badges and you'd like to add some weight to that kettlebell snatch, the carry, and possibly the overhead lunge, then let's start to gradually add some weight, doing some practice reps of the carry and the snatch, and possibly the lunge, adding a little bit of weight each time until we get to the weight that we want to use for the workout. Notice I've mentioned a number of times, possibly the lunge. It could be that we end up using less weight or no weight on that overhead lunge. We'll have more of a benefit by having just our fist in the air with no weight if we're struggling with that overhead position than just changing it to a goblet lunge position. We are trying to develop overhead mobility and stability, and doing so with just the fist, if that's what we need, is going to be more beneficial than just changing it to a different style lunge if needed. So let's keep that in mind. But whether we're adding weight or not, let's pay close attention to the following checklist. Number 1, please make sure your device is fully charged or plugged in so we can get through this whole workout without losing you. Number 2, let's grab some water. Let's take a sip. Let's make sure we got our water nearby so we can take a sip as needed all throughout the workout. Number 3, I'm going to give everyone a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. And that's how you can synchronize your timer with mine if you choose to use one. Number 4, music. Very important today. This is not a short one. We need a good number of jams that are going to keep us motivated all throughout these 5 rounds. So what's on your playlist? You can blast your music as loud as you want, as long as you can still hear me helping you throughout the workout. And lastly, how are we keeping track of these rounds? This is a 5-round workout. it's easy to lose track, especially with 4 different movements, lots of stuff going on. Am I on round 3? Am I on round 4? Is this real life? So, hey, the best way to keep track of everything is being a teacher's pet and having the workout written down close by, possibly with some type of scorecard. So if you're a teacher's pet, let's go ahead and show that whiteboard on screen, and let's take this teacher's pet picture. So here we go. Teacher's pet picture in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I'm going to bring the workout back on screen one more time, and then we'll get going. So in just about a minute, we're going to start this timer, and we're about to do this 5-round workout of 15 calories on the bike, 100-foot carry, 10 kettlebell snatches, and then a 25-foot kettlebell overhead walking lunge. Now, most of us for the bike, we're going to be doing the 15 sets of the mountain climber plank shoulder taps, whether we're doing that off the ground or doing that off the incline. If we do have a bike or some type of exercise equipment, let's scale to an amount of calories that we can hustle to finish in less than a minute, preferably about 45 seconds or so. So let's pick a number right now that we know, okay, I'm going to promise to hustle to get that number, but this number is possible for me. If 15 is too much, we can scale to a lesser number as needed in order to hit that in about 45 seconds or so. On the 100-foot carry, if we have a 25-foot span of space, then that's 2 round trips down and back, 4 total lengths. If we don't have 25-foot span of space, let's count 50 steps. That's going to equal the 100-foot carry for today. The 10 kettlebell snatches. Reminder, these are technically hanging power snatches. We're not going to be tapping the ground. We're going to be initiating by throwing that back between the legs, popping, punching that arm into the ear at the top. 5 on each side, 10 total. And then the 25-foot kettlebell overhead walking lunge. If we don't have 25-foot span of space, so be it. We can count 10 lunges, whether that's 10 walking lunges or whether that's 10 lunges in place, or maybe it's 10 step-ups if we are modifying to step-ups if needed, or 10, of course, assisted lunges if we need to modify for assistance. So your score is going to be the time it takes you to get through these 5 rounds of 15 mountain climber plank shoulder taps, a 50-step carry, 10 total kettlebell snatches, 5 on each side, and then 10 lunges for most of us if we don't have the 25-foot measured out. If you're good to go, give me a thumbs up and we'll get this started. I'm going to give us a 10-second countdown, and then I'm going to highlight twin 1 to get us going. So here we go. 15 mountain climber plank shoulder taps, 4 calories on the bike, 50-step carry, 10 snatches, 25-foot lunge or 10 lunges. Starting in 10 seconds. Let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. And we are off. We are doing this bike jumping for joy with these mountain climber plank shoulder taps. 15 sets of these. Whether we're doing it off the ground, off the incline, or using what we have, doing what we can. That is the mantra of this group. No excuses fitness. We get creative. We get it done. And we're jumping these as much as we can, but stepping these as much as needed. Hopefully getting through this first set somewhere between 45 seconds to a minute, right on cue. There goes twin 1. Boom. Moving on to the carry. Bird dog as well. Moving on to this carry. We've got Deb on this carry. And we've got Mighty Mouse on this carry. So that is the other beautiful part of this program here. All of us with different circumstances, but scaling to the weight that we need, doing the type of movements that we need, everyone getting through this workout together. Bird dog on these snatches, throwing it back, popping, punching, throwing it back, popping, punching. That's what we want to see. And let's punch through that flip. Let's not be afraid of that kettlebell. We show that kettlebell who's boss. 5 on one side, 5 on the other side. And bird dog already on these lunges. And so we can either alternate legs, or if we do same arm, same leg, if that helps us keep things straight, that's cool too. But bird dog finish with one side, making her way down the other side, swing one, making her way back to close out round one. Most importantly, strong overhead position. That's what we want to see. Deb on these step ups. Mighty Mouse on some step ups here. So everyone just about closing out round one here, getting ready to dive into round two, on track to finish within today's target window. And the target window is nothing more than the best way to know if we made the right choices, if we hit the mark in today's workout. So the target window, how does it work? Well, after we earn some badges, then we maybe want to start adding some weights, doing some more challenging movement options. How do we know if we've made the right choices? Well, if we choose the right weights and do the right movement options, then we will finish somewhere within the target window of time. And that will help us to know if we made the right choices to get the right level of challenge. Not too much over, not too much under. Twin one bird dog, done with the bike in the second round, moving on to this carry. Mighty Mouse as well on this carry. Deb finishing off the bike, about to move on to the carry as well. But nice work here. We're breathing through this. And there goes twin one, done with the carry, about to move on to some snatches. Bird dog already on it. I love that everyone has made awesome choices here, moving together. Super tight race here. On that snatch, we're keeping that arm close to the body. We don't want that arm to get way out ahead of us in the front. So we're throwing it back, but we're keeping it close to the body on the way up. That's a lot more efficient movement and a lot better for the shoulder girdle. We got bird dog on these lunges now. Twin one as well. Mighty Mouse on the step ups. Deb finishing off some snatches. So love this. We are closing out round two here. Still on track to finish within the window. Round three is where we really get into the groove of things, like, all right, I see how this works. In this workout here, we've settled into a good pace. Those who've been doing this program for a while understand, especially in a longer one like this, we need to pace this race. We don't want to start too fast like a jackrabbit, and then we hit that wall and we have nowhere to go. So we start strong, but we start smart. We pick a pace that matches our conditioning and abilities, and we can hold on to that pace and even perhaps go faster toward the end. Bird dog already done with the bike in round 3, as is Mighty Mouse onto these carries. Twin 1 finishing off some bike. Deb about to finish off some bike. But we are on this. Moving along. Bird dog done with the carry, about to move on to some snatches here. Throwing it back, popping, punching, throwing it back, popping, punching. Mighty Mouse as well. Keeping it close to the body. Let's remember, we don't want that kettlebell to get way out in front of us. So we initiate by throwing it back in order to harness the power of the hips and the legs, but we keep it close for more efficient movement, much safer movement. Bird dog closing out this round 3 with some lunges. Mighty Mouse as well on these step-ups here. Twin 1 and Deb finishing off some snatches. Moving some serious weight. And here comes Twin 1. Nice big steps, nice strong overhead position. We are making our way down, getting into round 4. Now, round 4 in a 5-round workout is what I consider to be the most important round. It's the separator round. It's the round that shows where we're at with our mental toughness. We are deep into this one. It's easy to start to get tired and lose focus, but let's stay the course. Let's stay on track. We've been getting some good split times in these rounds. Let's keep this within a couple seconds of each other. And then we can blast out the last round. But nice work here. Mighty Mouse on that carry. Bird dog about to join in on this carry. Twin 1 about to join in on this carry. So nice work here. Let's do this. Getting in our 50 steps if that's what we're doing. Or 4 lengths of 25, 2 round trips. And Bird dog already on these snatches. Making a charge to kind of edge out Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse kind of quietly slipped into the lead, but Bird dog sees that, making a move. Twin 1 on these snatches as well. Deb on these snatches as well. Neck and neck race over here. Bird dog with a nice stable overhead position. Let's keep that arm locked out, bicep into the ear, getting that knee to the ground. Let's keep that kettlebell close to the body on these snatches. But then, yes, we are making our way down these lunges. Mighty Mouse closing out this round with some step ups. Deb on these step ups as well. And here we go. Bird Dog stepping into this last round here. 2-1 closing out round 4. About to get into this last round. Mighty Mouse rolling into the last round, and Deb getting into this last round. This is where we really kick it in gear. This is where we dig deep. We've been pacing, now we're racing. Let's jump as much of these as we can, step as needed. Mighty Mouse already on this carry here. Making a move to stay out in front. Bird Dog got something to say about that. Deb finishing off some bike. 2-1 finishing off some bike. But both Mighty Mouse and Bird Dog charging through these carries. And there goes Mighty Mouse on these snatches here. Flying through those. Bird Dog as well, throwing it back, pop and punch, throwing it back, pop and punch. Deb and 2-1 making a charge to finish off that carry. But here goes Mighty Mouse, stepping on this last set of lunges here. Bird Dog about to go down on these lunges. Super exciting finish. We know what to do as we cross that finish line. We hit that buzzer, we yell time, we cheer on our family. But it is neck and neck between Mighty Mouse, Bird Dog, making their way toward the finish line. Mighty Mouse just edging that out. Bird Dog right behind. 2-1 about to start this last set of lunges here. Turning around, coming down on this last leg of the lunges. And there goes 2-1 across the finish line. And Deb, last set of step-ups here. And there goes Deb across the finish line. Man, that took a lot out of 2-1. Now she's still recovering. Whew, big push toward the end. But, man, as exciting as that was, now we're at the best part of the workout, which is the cool down stretch. And this stretch is super important to help us fight soreness, increase flexibility, so we can come back day after day, staying consistent and committed. So the first stretch we're going to do today is the scorpion. That's going to be where we lay face down, got those arms out to the side, and we're going to get the left foot going right as close as we can to that right hand. And while we're doing this, let's reflect on the workout. Let's do some high-low buffalo. And let's hear first from Bird Dog. And if we're doing this from the seated position, then we're going to get that right arm up and pull left like this. But what's your high-low buffalo, Bird Dog?
I'd say my high was this workout was a little tricky, like as far as keeping up with everything. And I thought it would be a little easier than it was. But I'm glad I wrote everything down because there's no way I could have kept track with it in my brain. Uh, my high, yeah, I liked the workout, and I was able to consistently keep the same weight for the snatches and the lunges, so I was happy about that. Low was probably the lunges, just because it was not my strong move, so it's something I would like to work on and fine tune. Uh, Buffalo, man, that was exciting to be neck and neck with Mighty Mouse there. So she helped me cross that finish line probably faster than I would have. No, I know faster than I would have normally.
That was super exciting for me to watch as well. What I'm mostly proud of is just everyone making the right choices. But with those choices, seeing that race, that we love some friendly competition. It's great to see as long as we're keeping the form. But that's what really helps us to squeeze out every ounce of fitness we got. So good job, Bird Dog. Let's go ahead and hit Scorpion on the other side now. So we're getting the other leg up as close as we can to that other hand. And while we're on this side, let's hear from Twin One. And if we're doing this from the seated position, we're getting the left arm up and pulling right like this. But what is your high-low buffalo, Twin One?
Okay, my high were the carries, and the low was the kettlebell snatch. That was getting me like not upset, but I really had to push through them. And then the buffalo was those mountain climber like shoulder taps. I was really surprised that I didn't take as many pauses in between that. Before I would have stopped so many times, but this WOD I was able to push through. I think I stopped like one time, if I remember one time. So I'm happy about that.
Hey, something is clicking, right? We are getting some more fitness. That is huge right there. The fact that we can get through those sets without any breaks, that is definitely evidence that we are moving in the right direction. So good job, Twin One. Let's go ahead and switch to Dragon. So, going to be in a nice long lunge position like this, leaning into that front knee. Preferably keep it in about 90 degrees actually, so not really getting that knee too far forward. But hey, if this is hard on that back leg, that's cool. We could do an alternate stretch. We could do a single leg forward fold like this. And while we're doing this, let's hear from Mighty Mouse. And if we're doing this from the seated position, we're going to twist toward the right, holding on to whatever we need to. But what is your high-low buffalo, Mighty Mouse?
My high was doing the step ups for the walking lunge. I didn't have a low, but my buffalo was after a while doing those snatches. I was getting kind of tired, so I had to remember to really push through so I could throw it up. So other than that, it was a good workout.
And you certainly did great with it. Gave you some options that I thought was going to trip you up, but no, you still ended up finishing first. It's like, man, what are we going to do with you, Mighty Mouse? We just got to keep making it harder. But you know what? You are rising to the challenge. Good job, Mighty Mouse. Let's go ahead and hit Dragon on the other side. So we are leaning into that front leg, getting it about 90 degrees. And hey, if that's a bit much on that back knee, that's cool. We can do a single leg forward fold like this. And while we're on this side, let's hear from Deb. And if we're doing this from a seated position, we're now twisting toward the left, holding on to whatever we need to. But what is your high-low buffalo, Deb?
Well, just like everybody, I had a carrot too. And then when my carrot was passing my carrot, I was just like, I had to get another carrot. But it made me step up. But my subconscious was like, slow down, grasshopper, because you're not there yet. Because I was huffing and puffing, but it was good because I finished faster than I would have. And so that's why I always like, somebody to, that I can go behind just to keep up. And so because so that was my high. My low was the kettlebell snatches. I have a kind of makeshift kettlebell, but it always hits me in my wrist. But today, I was listening to you like, You ain't got nothing on me, kettlebell. So I was just like, ugh. So I was working it, so I'm gonna keep working that. So that was my low. The buffalo was, yeah, keeping up with the numbers. The 50 walking back, 25 feet. The 4, the 15, the 10. I don't know what's wrong with me, but it was all good. As long as I had a carrot, I was good. So thanks, coach, as always.
No, thank you. Loving all the wildlife metaphors today between the grasshoppers and the carrots. Sometimes that's the only way to describe it, right? But hey, we got through this one way or the other. And hey, keeping everything straight with your whiteboard close by, that's really what helped. That's why we talk about teacher's pet, having that written down. Hey, what's coming up next? That's fine. That's exactly why we come prepared for that reason. Well, that's our WOD, that's our stretch, that's our high-low buffalo. You know what's left. This sweaty selfie, because does this count if we don't take that selfie? Let's flex on the camera and let's get this selfie. Sweaty selfie in 3, 2, 1. And crazy face. And let's put the fist in the middle for the cheer. On 3, 2 claps. Fit crew. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Big crew.
Crew.
Fit crew. Thank you so much. If you enjoy this program, then please give this channel a subscribe, a like, and a share. Thank you very much, and see you next time.